Alan Presents. I'm Leanne, and this is...
Disappointed.
Alan!
Disappointed Alan, yeah, that's it.
Disappointed, underwhelmed, but we got through it. We watched Extreme Rules. Extreme!
They should have, like, that X on the Extreme, they should have put Extreme Rules and the X over the Extreme Rules bit, because...
Should have had a little disclaimer, asterisks.
Extreme Rules card, subject to not be extreme.
May contain one match that includes the Extreme Rules.
Weapons, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as we do try to go into WWE events with an open mind, because, as we've talked about before, with the competition building, at some point, we are hoping that they're going to take it seriously, they're going to pull something out of the bag that's going to wow us, it's going to bring us back. Unfortunately, this event wasn't it. But we did try to go in with positive thinking, but we'll get on to that. We'll go through the matches and sort of explain what we thought about it as we went, I guess.
So, I've got a bit of a habit, almost, I guess, of not derailing, but kind of comparing WWE to AEW. AEW, in my opinion, is so much better than the WWE product right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, AEW Dynamite's doing 1.2 million, 1.4 million a week.
Yeah.
Raw's doing like 1.5. That is a threat.
It is a threat.
But the reason I mention this is because there was one sign in the crowd, and I hope you haven't got this on your segment.
It's not in my list.
There was one guy who's clearly a massive WWE mark, and he had AEW, always emulating WWE.
I think it's always trying to emulate as well.
Or something like that, yeah.
Positive.
And it's like, mate, are you blind, stupid, or both?
No. But yeah, we wanted to get this bit out of the way so that we can sort of go into, when we're talking about the matches, we're going to try not to do any comparisons. We're going to just focus on WWE.
I mean, you can't.
Because you've heard it all before from us. You've heard our opinions, and I know not everyone's going to share those opinions. Some people love WWE and will always do so.
Yeah. And it's like,
that's fine.
And again, broken record, I've been watching it since I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, whatever it was, and at WrestleMania 12 when I started watching it. It's a long time to put commitment into something to then see it turn to so much trash.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You
but
know?
anyway, anything else you want to say on that before we put it to the side?
Yeah, one final thing is that Dynamite Grand Slam last week. So they had Dynamite and Rampage was split into one. It was one taping. It was called Grand Slam. Big open arena. They drew over like close to 21,000 people. That's the biggest wrestling audience since 1999 that wasn't a WWF or WWE event. The last previous was I think was WCW, one of the sort of when the height of the Monday Night Wars, and the same sort of thing with revenue and viewers. You know, that's for Vince to sit there and his cronies or whatever you want to call them to sit there, like Tony Khan's obviously they were the owners of AEW. There's Nick Khan, I think, is the guy who's in WWE. He's kind of like Vince's almost right hand man, I believe. Not related, I don't think. But even he's like, oh yeah, well they're not a threat to us. But yet, clearly they're showing that they are because they're doing Attitude Era and Monday Night War era figures in terms of ticket sales, ratings, and merchandise sales. If they don't start pulling this stick out of their ass, WWE are going to they're just going to go under.
Yeah,
they're going to fail.
They're only going to have their marks left.
Yeah. And the
wrestlers are going to leave.
Yeah, and the one other good thing with, again, the Forbidden Door, AEW's working with New Japan, Impact Wrestling. They've got Malachi Black, one with, I can't remember the guy's name because I think it's Brody King. I don't watch PWG. He won the PWG tag team titles last night. Malachi Black, who works for AEW, is under contract with AEW, is a champion in another company. Lance Archer, as far as I can remember, is the current IWGP television champion.
Makes it more realistic.
Yeah.
Makes it more engaging and draws in more people. And it's just math.
Just to stop banging about AEW, imagine some of the New Japan guys coming to WWE.
Yeah.
You
could have some great stuff with AJ Styles doing stuff with those guys.
With Tanahashi. You could have Okada. You could have
Damien
Kota
Priest with
Ibushi.
some of those guys would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
Like most of them would do some great work.
So good.
If they get the opportunity.
But that's not what they want, so...
No.
And that's why they will fail in the long run. Anyway, carry on.
So that's...
Yeah, that's I'll try not to mention AEW again. Yeah. I can't make any promises,
I'll try and call you out if we get into it. We're going to try and... Because this video is about a WWE event, so we want to try and focus on that. And also, hopefully, mean that it won't run on quite as long as some of our reaction videos have gone.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, to start with, I guess, we didn't watch the buy-in show.
So I saw that they were advertising a 6-man tag between New Day, AJ Styles, Omos and Lashley. I figured that was going to be on the buy-in or the pre-show. The buy-in again, come back to it. The pre-show, the kickoff show, I think they call it. So we started watching the event, and the 6-man tag's on, and I'm like, oh, maybe they just had a throwaway match. Maybe I don't know, maybe some 24/7 title match or something on the kickoff show. Anyway, we'll cover that.
We'll catch that when it gets to that bit.
Just keep in mind, we didn't watch the kickoff show because we thought it wasn't anything of sustenance and value dimension of it.
Yeah, because it hardly ever is. But there we go.
Correct.
Okay, so the first match on the main card then was the New Day, all three of them, back together, versus AJ Styles, Omos, and Bobby Lashley.
The almighty Bobby Lashley.
The almighty.
Who, by the way, I still think is crushing it. He's doing so much better.
I think in this match, him and AJ made this match.
Yeah, AJ Styles makes any match he's in. Let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah, he could make anyone look good.
He's not called the phenomenal one for nothing.
I know. Him and Lashley carried it.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, the New Day are great, but they just I think they were outshone.
Oh yeah. A little bit, as good as Kofi and Xavier Woods are, because they are great. AJ Styles is a veteran.
Yeah.
He's been in there much longer. He's been to a lot of places. He did New Japan. He did Impact Wrestling.
He's so talented.
I think he did WCW for a little stint. I think he did a trial with WWE back in the day, and they just didn't sign him. Yes, I mean, to be fair, since he's come in, AJ Styles is one of the ones I will always enjoy watching in the ring, regardless of what story he's in, because he will always make himself shine and the other guys he's in the ring shine.
Yeah, he always puts his heart into it.
You can tell he absolutely loves the business.
Yeah, for sure. So, a couple of things I noted in this one. Obviously, you've got the New Day aren't big guys. Big E is the biggest of them.
He's wide,
he's quite bulky,
but he's not.
He's not
tall.
He's not like a WWE big guy like Lashley and Omos are.
Yeah, or like a Braun Strowman was, or Brock Lesnar, because they're quite tall with it as well.
If it felt to me in this match, he was taking a load of Pele kicks from Styles, and he wasn't going down. And I know some of them, like the big guys, it's like a show of strength. They're not going to go down on a Pele kick. It felt like it didn't quite match up. It felt to me like he should be going down.
Yeah, you get kicked in the head, for God's sake.
He was just using it as a vehicle to get to the corner. I think at least twice it was a Pele kick. He wobbles a bit, then stumbles backwards into the corner to lead up to something. To me, that felt really obvious that that's what he was doing. One of the times it was into his corner, so he would get a tag.
I can't remember who used to coin the phrase, but they coined it as telegraphing.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see what's coming because they're telegraphing it.
I mean,
I think it's a JR term.
I guess in reality, if you get kicked in the head and you manage to stay on your feet but you're a bit wobbly, you would move backwards to lean on something.
It's still going to knock you off balance,
Yeah. So in a way, it's like, I can see that it works, but it felt more like it was... He wanted to get to the corner, so he didn't go down, he wobbled over to it. Rather than he got hit in the head, felt wobbly, needed to lean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or am I reading too much into it?
No, I get, I saw the same thing. Yeah.
So that was a bit... I was saying to...
Again, they were just making it too obvious.
Yeah.
You couldn't have made it more obvious if you hadn't... There's a point, I can't remember which feud it was or which era it was, but John Cena was being a bit too loud, and you could hear everything he was saying in the ring, and it's
Cena.
Mate, turn it down. And
He's meant to be one of the best ones.
It couldn't have been more...
He's meant to be, according to some people like
Vince.
Vince
McMahon.
Yeah.
You couldn't have made it more obvious if you'd had that level of communication around the ring.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick you in the head, wobble back into the corner.
I know. So, I mean, in my head, what should have happened, if I was directing, I suppose, was he takes a Pele kick, goes down to a knee, and then sort of gets himself back up into the corner. That would have felt more realistic to me. So I get it, someone like Lashley might not go down on it, because he is one of the big guys, and his whole deal is he's not going to go down.
The thing is, right, you can go down to one knee and still look strong.
Yes, exactly.
Because you kind of, boom, let me just drop to my knee, get some balance,
straight
get back up.
And then he can back off into the corner if he still needs to.
Yeah, kind of shake the cobwebs off a little bit.
Rather than just, like, going a bit dizzy.
I got kicked in the head.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the only real comment I had from the content of the match.
I've literally got one comment per match, pretty much. The only one I had from this was that they're like, oh, Omos, he's this big hulking giant. He's going to go far, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's barely used.
Yeah.
Like, what?
He was in there for a bit, but not much and nothing really noticeable.
I'd say he was in the match under 10% of the time.
I mean, you had Lashley in there. He beat up everyone. He beat up Big E on the outside. He beat up both Xavier and Kofi, my brain, in the ring. Just like completely destroyed them. He did so good. I actually really enjoyed his bits. And Styles as well. He was getting all his moves in.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not like going to be wailing on someone so much, but he's doing all the
like
little...
when you've got AJ, especially with someone the size of Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston, different. You put him up against someone like Big E, and he is going to have a bit more trouble.
Yeah.
But he still gives it a try, and he makes it look convincing.
I was really enjoying,
like,
he's like getting moves in on Big E, and then a Pele kick, and then it was the whole one. I was like, I'll just spoil it for me.
yeah.
Oh. So, the finish.
Yeah, I was going to say the finish. Yeah, go on.
Shall I do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Lashley is... who was in? Big E. Yes, Big E was in. And Lashley was in, and he's sort of like gearing up to finish things off.
It looked like he was priming for a spear.
Yeah. So he's in the corner, he's getting ready for a spear, and then AJ tags in. I'm like, well, that's just classic AJ. Yeah, fully expected this.
Pulling the elbow pad, ready for that forearm.
He's ready. He gets on the rope, ready to do it. Starts jumping. Lashley tags him.
Yeah, he sort of...
As he's in the air.
As he's springboarding, he sort of just taps him on the backside, and he's like... And the ref's like, tag!
It's like, what do you expect? You got Lashley and AJ in a team. This is bound to happen.
Yeah.
So obviously they're not very happy about things. Lashley's gearing up to spear Big E. AJ, I'm not quite sure how he got there, is on the other side of the ring.
He went to the forearm and Big E ducked.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he did the forearm.
He kind of dived over him, yeah.
During
because he was obviously springboarding off the ropes, so he jumped up, he had his feet on the ropes, and that's when Lashley tapped him.
So you got AJ over here, Big E in the middle, Lashley getting ready to spear. He goes for the spear. Big E moves out the way. Lashley does a little whoop, dodge, spears AJ.
Yeah.
So we were saying either Lashley purposefully went to spear AJ Styles, or he made it too obvious that was kind of the plan, that it would accidentally happen. I'm going to say he did it on purpose.
Yeah, because I think I after that good showing by Lashley, I don't want to think that he screwed up.
And the whole, like, tagging each other in because they want the finishing move, they want the glory, it does set up that Lashley is fed up with AJ Styles, and he's like, okay, I see Big E's going to move. I'm just going to go for it. He's going to think it's a mistake. I'm going to get to beat him up a bit.
So, I think this will build into some sort of feud, even if it's just a couple of blow-off matches or whatever. Who's the good guy in this scenario?
I am so ready for some heel versus heel action.
Yeah. They won't do it, though, you know.
But it would be good. It would be good.
They'll pipe in those bloody chants. Someone will get cheered for.
I mean, even if it's heel versus heel, you're going to get crowds going either way.
I think I'd be more up for a heel AJ against a face Bobby, because I can't remember the last time I saw Bobby as a face.
No.
That's been a good long while. Like, the last time I think I remember seeing him as a face was in Impact Wrestling, and he was fighting, I think it was Moose.
Yeah.
God, that's going back probably 2017.
And they could definitely work it for him to be the heel in this scenario, because AJ started the malfunction at the junction, as they call it. He's the one who started that. But yeah, I think that could be a really good match, because these guys are both amazing.
Yeah, I think so.
And they're doing so much with what they've been given at the moment, and that speaks a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I enjoyed... probably say the actual ending. So after after the spear, Obviously, Biggie then takes advantage of the chaos and hits a big ending.
Yeah.
And pins it for the win. So Biggie wins.
New Day wins. Champ wins. Yeah.
Um,
Champ must pose, pal.
I think did we predict? Oh, we didn't have this match.
We didn't have that match. This wasn't announced till Sunday, and that was after we put our prediction video. It would have been after our prediction video anyway.
Because it was very last minute.
Yeah.
So overall, I think this was a good match. It had some good spots, had some good people. Wasn't massively engaging all the way. There were just some good things, and that ending sort of got me interested in it.
Yeah. It's like what's going to happen next? Because there's just been a massive, communication and
so there's a bit of a bit of a surprise at the end. Took me a little bit, and then it ended. It's like okay, all right. But I have written down not extreme. Welcome to Extreme Rules, folks.
Extreme Rules, the one night of the year where everything goes extreme. Let's see how extreme we get.
Yeah. Next, maybe the most.
Let's see how many of those I can do before I blow my throat out.
So next we had.
It does sing with death metal apparently.
Yeah, practicing. Next, they cut to an advert. I guess it's an advert for Connor's Cure and the V Foundation.
Oh yeah.
These are always so cute and really heartwarming. Obviously, the whole origin of Connor's Cure is just
that little boy Connor. My God.
It's heartbreaking and heartwarming, and everything that WWE is doing, forgetting all the bad stuff that goes on, they are doing so much for these charities to raising money for pediatric cancer. Yeah,
it's for kids as well. How can you not? You'd have to be a heartless POS to not care about this.
And they've always got the little kids, the ones who are fighting cancer or have beaten cancer, in their little superhero outfits, and they've got their little superhero names, and they're like...
With their title belts and
what was it? Tornado Joe or something? Yeah. I can't remember the exact name. He's like, and I can blow away cancer and all illnesses. I'm like, it's so cute.
Yeah. And it's like going back to they've been doing this for the last couple of weeks on Raw and SmackDown as well, and Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH came out, and Rhea Ripley was really struggling getting through that. You could see how much that was affecting her.
Yeah.
And it shows that, like, as bad, like, I can imagine Roman Reigns doing something like this, and he'd be the same. He'd be choking up, because he is a family man.
Rex is wet.
It's apparently raining. Thanks for the info, Rex. The weather cat is here. Yeah, okay. I'm really happy that they do it, and I have supported Connor's Cure in the past. I've got a couple of things from them, and kudos to Stephanie Triple H for starting the foundation, and they partner with the V Foundation.
V for Victory.
V for Victory.
The V for Victory.
Yeah, I know the foundation, the extra foundation thing, wasn't it? I think it's the V Foundation, which is where the V for Victory comes from.
V for Victory.
So yeah,
victory over cancer.
So the one thing that they're doing right, and not to side why AEW does support some charities as well, which is fantastic. So it's good to see these big names like Rhea Ripley and New Day and whoever else, Roman Reigns probably advocate, all these big talents supporting this worthy cause, this really worthwhile cause, and I really like that.
It's lovely.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them have little badges on throughout the matches at the moment, because it's sort of
even on the announcer desk as well. They've got it on the announcer desk.
So it's lovely, and
keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah, that's probably the one thing you're doing right.
Yeah, keep going. Do more of this. Yes. Cool. So
I'm trying not to be a dick.
Awesome. I know it's hard with WWE at the moment, but we're trying. We are. Okay, next we had the Street Profits versus the Usos. I didn't have a lot written down for this one. One thing that did get me was how bored the Usos looked. Both of them, all the way through.
I don't know if that's supposed to lead into the Bloodline character, but I don't think it was.
If it was, it didn't quite work, I think. It didn't come across. Because it's like one of them's getting pinned, and they're just like laying there, looking bored out of their skull, and then they kick out. Put some heart into it.
I mean, obviously with the latest round of cuts, the big talents, I don't think anyone apart from like Seth or Roman or Cena or Brock or all those guys really feel safe.
No.
Especially with some of the run-ins with the law the Usos have had in the last few years, with like DUIs and speeding and all that kind of lot.
But, and this is going to sound bad, but given that nobody's safe at the moment, isn't that more of a push to put that effort in put your heart and soul into it to keep the company going, make things better, and stay. I know that being good and putting your heart into it isn't necessarily protection, but you've
Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman.
I know. But you've got to do something, right?
Sorry, I got a bit of a cough, apparently. It's not COVID, I swear.
You know, it's like, do something.
It's
make
WWE
things better.
hiccups.
You know,
Yeah.
The Street Profits put on a good show. It wasn't 100%. There were some
decent bits. Even the ending looked botched. One of the Usos completely missed with his frog splash.
Yeah, it's a double frog splash. It's really one frog splash and one off in the side somewhere. Yeah, a bit of an underwhelming one.
I literally put meh, nothing noteworthy.
I put meh too.
Meh. Meh.
Usos win after double frog splash.
So they retain their title, surprise, surprise.
I've written...
Did we see that one coming, Leanne? We absolutely did.
I've written not extreme. Because it's Extreme Rules, and I felt like I needed to write something about extremeness in each match, so...
Not extreme.
Not extreme. It was not. It was nowhere near. I know it wasn't intended to be, but the pay-per-view is intended to be.
They should have done like a tables match. Like a tag team tables match.
This is the whole problem. Anyway.
That's like going back to ECW in the old days and expecting to see something extreme and hardcore.
Just one match.
And not, just getting one match. There would literally
and not
be...
even like the whole hardcore stuff, just a couple of tables.
There'd be riots. There'd be riots. There would absolutely be riots.
They would bring the barbed wire.
Well, have you seen that clip? Somebody throw me a chair. Holy crap.
Like, I've seen that so many times.
I'm going to have to try and embed that. I'll see if I can find a version of that and embed it into this video. It's, I think it's Public Enemy, and they're fighting Terry Funk and Cactus Jack, Mick Foley. And somebody in the ring, I can't remember who it was. I think it's either Mick Foley or Terry Funk. And they go, somebody throw me a chair.
Worst mistake.
By the time they finished, there was more chairs in the ring than there was on the floor.
It's like every person in the audience like, I'll do it. And then they see someone else has thrown a chair and they're like, I'll still do it.
And then you just see everyone, the Mick Foley and everyone get out of the way, the referees dive out the ring, and the ring announcer, stop throwing the chairs!
Do not throw the chairs! Oh my god. That's extreme. But we don't want that.
And that was before ECW was called Extreme Championship Wrestling. That was when it was still called Eastern Championship Wrestling.
That's the catalyst. Well, we're kind of extreme now, let's do it. So that was that one. Oh, whizzing through these. So then we go...
Are you surprised?
Backstage, and Bobby Lashley does not look happy.
Does he ever?
No, but he, looks angry. He either looks unhappy or angry, and now he looks angry. I put it down as a Lashley rant.
Lashley rant.
Throwing toys out of the pram. That's what I put. Because he got pinned fair and square. After a bit of a squabble with his team.
Well, the rant was mainly about the Money in the Bank cash-in, though.
Yeah, he's still going on about that.
Still a bit sour.
Because he's hurt his knee and he's had a bad leg when Big E cashed in, so he wants a rematch. So yeah, they're gonna have a championship
First
match.
Thing on Raw.
First
tonight.
Match on.
As we record, it's Monday today.
It's
so,
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, the 27th of September. 2021.
Way to date the video, Leanne.
Well, the whole premise of the video dates the video.
Who's to say this exact card doesn't happen next year and we could have just reused this footage?
We'll reuse it.
I'll just splice in and say 2022 in your voiceover instead. That's fine.
Sample some twos.
Yeah.
Two.
Well, you New Day? Let's carry on.
Okay, yeah. So Lashley versus Big E will be on Raw for the championship.
Well, that wasn't confirmed until Big E accepted the challenge. But yeah.
But I didn't write when Big E accepted the challenge, so I'm putting it here. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Fast forward button. Click.
Okay, next we've got Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair.
Boo!
Boo!
Boo! If Charlotte Flair was a ghost. Boo! Boo! Do you think that's what she does for Halloween? She chucks a sheet over her head and boo! Oh, for God's sake.
This man is a genius.
This is just derailing everything. I'm so sorry.
Well, if we can't derail with certain other things that we're not talking about. Adam Cole!
Baby!
I did it with one finger again. I'm an idiot. I'll learn.
Should I just tape your fingers together?
So this match was, it's kind of a difficult match to give opinions on because it's like one of our favourites versus one of our least favourites. So
most despised, I think, would be the term to
yeah.
use. Least favourites isn't harsh enough.
So I think I only really started writing near the end, notes wise.
Like, I'll give it credit where this due.
Mm-hmm.
They put on a good match for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I got.
Yeah, it was a fair match. Well, I wouldn't say it's never a fair match when there's a Flair involved.
Yeah.
Fair as in
she's learning.
Wasn't bad. But yeah, it gets to a point where I think Bliss was sort of had the advantage. So Charlotte Flair does what Charlotte Flair does best. Grabs Lily and throws it at Bliss in probably one of the most underwhelming distractions I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really weird.
You get a soft doll thrown at you. I mean, I guess because Alexa Bliss has the attachment to Lily, it's more than just throwing a doll at someone. It's like throwing your best friend at someone.
But the way I felt that she caught it and just kind of, put it down. If that was me, I would have grabbed it, dropped, and rolled out of the ring to protect it.
Yeah. But she didn't. So
that's just bad producing by the writers.
Yeah, I suppose. See, after that, Flair hits the natural selection.
Well, she hits with a kick and then,
kick, natural selection, and then pins her for the win. So that was the match. And then...
Did we get that one right? We did.
We did. So it's what happened after the match that was more interesting to me. Charlotte Flair rips up Lily into pieces.
Literally knocks the stuffing right out of her.
It's a bit weird though, because like all the stuffing comes out, but Lily's intact. Just with
it must have ripped the seam.
Yeah, like there's a seam.
She pulled. I think she ripped an arm off first.
I think so.
And
but then you've got It's like Lily's all attached, but just the stuffing's on the floor. But it's quite she actually looked scarier pulled apart, which was quite fun. Obviously, Bliss is mortified and distraught, yes. Because like we said, it's not just a doll, this is her best friend, confidant, you know. So obviously, Bliss attacks. A vicious attack on Flair, which was lovely to see. We enjoyed that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then Flair eventually escapes and heads up the ramp. And then we had Bliss mourning Lily in the middle of the ring, trying to put her back together.
That visceral scream.
Screaming. The audience is chanting, "Thank you, Lily." And honestly, I did get a bit emotional because of Alexa's emotion. She put on such a good show. I was really impressed with
I can see
just those acting chops.
Yeah, I could see some maybe Hollywood roles for her in the future.
Yeah.
Head the way of The Rock and John Cena maybe.
Because sadness is really difficult to fake properly, and that level of sadness, it was a bit heart-wrenching.
The one thing that kind of took away from it though was they must have given her like this tablet or something to put on her tongue, and it was supposed to like dissolve
so
and
that she'd look feral,
make it look like it's got rabies, kind of
foaming
at the mouth. But she kind of opened her mouth and you could just see it on her tongue. It didn't really dissolve quick enough.
The camera was too close.
Yeah. Well, I noticed it when she was in the ring first.
Yeah.
So that should have dissolved by the time she got to the ramp, but it didn't.
She ended up like just having a massive tablet on her tongue with a little bit of dribble coming out. It just didn't work, which is a shame. She did what she could with what she had. And the cameraman on the ramp should have backed away. Maybe he didn't notice it if he wasn't like checking the screen so much, but as soon as he saw how obvious it was, he should have backed away.
One of the notes I've got for this match, I had like just Flair uses Lily, that's just BS, and then the crowd was flat. I feel bad for Alexa because she gives it her all every time, and I'm not saying that Charlotte doesn't, but the crowd are just so bored of Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, they really are.
Like, it's been the same character for, what are we now, 2021, 5-6 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's been the same frigging character all the way through.
Yeah, it's just, she's just a Flair.
Whereas Alexa Bliss started off as a cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
Then she went to this horror kind of loving cosplaying thing, and then the twisted little Bliss, and then the Fiend, and now this, and it's so much. I know.
So it was a bit sad for Bliss that it was like that, but I think it sort of pulled it back. The "Thank You, Lily" chants.
Yeah.
Because the audience wouldn't have done that if they didn't believe in her performance at that moment. So that must have felt good. Hopefully, it sort of made it worth it. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. Whether you were saying maybe she brings back Lily as like Frankenstein, sort of all patched together and. Like,
I feel that she would have had to be ripped up a bit more though, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a doll with one seam on the back.
I mean, it could have been the intention and didn't work, of course, but I mean, we'll see because that doll is broken. So either it's going to come back in a different sort of form, or it's not going to come back.
See what happens.
We shall see. So yeah, at least we've got some intrigue coming. I have written not extreme. Surprise, surprise.
I don't know, someone had their head torn apart.
Yeah, that wasn't in the match though, was it?
The innards was all over the mat, Leanne.
Thank you, Lily. Cool, so then we go back to backstage and to Heyman on the phone.
Again.
It's kind of, he's talking about the draft to someone, the upcoming draft, and saying how it's the most important draft that WWE has had. Kayla is there. Kayla
Braxton.
Kayla Braxton. She's backstage
correspondent.
Interviewer correspondent.
I think they use the word correspondent.
They've had a running thing over the past few weeks where she'll like show up while Heyman's doing something or talking to someone, and he won't know she's there, and he'll turn around and jump out of his skin and do a little scream, and it's been very funny. So he's on the phone, and she's just like standing slightly behind him, next to him, just with the mic there holding it up. He doesn't jump at this one, but he's like slyly.
I kind of would have liked it to have her like put it right by the sort of mouthpiece of the phone, or but just try and hear what's going on.
I feel like that's the impression she was trying to give, but just picking up his bits.
Go big or go home, Kayla.
I know.
Stick the mic in the damn phone, seriously.
So Heyman has a bit of banter with her about how she's jealous because he might be on the phone to another woman or another journalist and all this. And then he drops, "Oh, but you think I'm on the phone to Brock Lesnar," and she gives a little, maybe, without saying anything, because she's the quietest correspondent I've ever at the moment.
Paul Heyman tends to talk himself into a corner as well.
Yeah,
his mouth just runs away with it.
So that then makes everyone think, oh yeah, he's on the phone to Lesnar talking about the draft, because this is what they're sort of alluding to might be happening. It may or may not have been Lesnar. Yeah.
I had the idea that it would have been really cool if it's not Lesnar. If it's just like a red herring, and what if they're bringing someone huge in from outside?
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
That would be cool. It would like throw everyone off, completely subvert expectations, and hopefully give us something.
I don't know who though, that's the problem.
Yeah. It's probably Lesnar,
there's no one that I can think of in the free agent kind of realm of the industry that I could bring in and be like, yeah, this is worthy of Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Like, if Punk hadn't signed with the other company, then I would have said CM Punk, because Fox did make an aggressive push to WWE to re-sign him when the rumours started kicking around. I have no idea.
No idea. That was that. And
what was Cesaro? He used to be a Paul Heyman guy. Repackaged Cesaro.
Yeah. That could be cool.
I don't know. I think it'd be a bit nah.
I think that one could go
I think
either
they've kind of screwed Cesaro over too much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so then the Usos go past, holding their belts. We won, yeah, we did it.
Look like they've just come out of the ring.
So we sort of thought, did they put this segment in the wrong bit? Because a whole match has happened since they won. And not a short match.
It's quite about 20 minutes.
Yeah, at least. So, don't know. Bit weird, but okie dokie. And then Heyman goes off with them back to the Bloodlines' little den.
It's a little
tree house.
Cushion fort. In the locker room.
Cool. And then we move on to our next match, which was Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus versus Damien Priest for the US USA Championship?
Correct.
North American Championship.
United States.
United States. I know there's something America.
United States title.
There was a North America one. That's
That's
NXT.
NXT.
Yes. Sorry. Apologies.
Hey now.
So this was a really good match, I felt.
I said in the predictions video that this is potentially match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say it now, I was right.
Yes.
This is literally
100%.
the best match of the night.
It was obviously the best one so far.
It was pretty much non-stop.
Yeah, it was. There was action from everyone.
And I think I mentioned this during the prediction video. That's why I like the triple threat sort of dynamic, because it is pretty much non-stop.
Mm-hmm.
You can have one guy on the outside taking a little couple of minutes breather while two guys go at it in the ring.
Yeah.
And then you can swap out, and then swap out again, and you just keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. You just keep it fresh.
There was one move that made me gasp, where Sheamus hit a backbreaker on Jeff Hardy. Jeff. And it looked so brutal. And Jeff literally sort of seesawed up, legs in the air, upright from this backbreaker. Because usually you sort of bend over the guy's knee and then roll off. But he was like, bend up.
And then he flopped back down. That was really cool. But then I wouldn't expect anything less from Jeff.
No, it looked so good. It didn't even look like overselling. It looked just like that move hit hard.
And Sheamus, he hits hard.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was Sheamus that hit him with it.
Sheamus had his protective face mask back on, which the last time we saw him wrestle, he threw it out. So I'd sort of assumed that was sort of his way of getting rid of it. That bit's done now. I don't know if we mentioned if that was on SmackDown or if it was in the predictions.
It was in SmackDown.
Can't remember.
No, it was the week before, and we did. So, I'm pretty sure we mentioned it in the predictions.
But no, he came back with it, so that's fine. It did get lost, but
yeah, he hit an Alabama slam on Jeff Hardy and he lost it. It
fell off, which is fine. At least it wasn't the same. Someone ripping it off in order to do damage, because that's been.
It almost looked like accident. If it was done on purpose, then it would made it look like it was accidental.
Yeah, so it was well done.
Hit Hardy, stood up, and he's like, "Oh no, he's lost his mask." It's like, "Oh, okay."
And he's got tape over his nose, so it feels a bit like he expected that someone might take it off him, so he prepared, because it was all taped up. We did have Priest taking advantage a bit, trying to hurt his nose.
Yeah, but you would. It's a weak point.
Yeah.
It's got a bullseye on it.
And it's not like there's any disqualification in a triple threat match, so.
But it's still not extreme.
Yeah, it wasn't extreme. A couple of moments where with this one people tried to get the rope and there's no rope breaks. Was that a different match?
there was that one.
What was this one?
Yeah, Sheamus had him in the cloverleaf
and
right. Jeff Hardy, and he went
got
down the refs like
ropes. But at the same time, even if you can't get a rope break from it, it buys you time and you know there's someone else in the match.
Well, the thing is, you can if you're smart enough and you can twist yourself around, depending on the move, you can drag yourself out and you're getting the leverage, you just drop down.
So I think that one got broken up by Priest. That hold itself. So yeah, lots of back and forth. It was a really good match. The end of it, I think, was a bit a little bit of a anticlimax.
Yeah.
It was a series of roll-ups.
Oh
so
God, who hit
1,
who?
2 counts, 1, 2
No,
counts.
it was someone hit. Oh God, what was it? Jeff hit the Swanton.
Yeah.
As Priest was pinning Sheamus.
That's
Sheamus hit Hardy with something. And as he kind of fell out the ring and Sheamus going for him, and then Priest came behind and rolled him up for a 3.
Yeah,
that's what it was. So it was a bit anticlimactic, but
yeah. But at the same time, that sequence was sort of quick. So it sort of led into it, okay?
Yeah. It didn't feel like some of them where it's like, oh, this is a slow bit. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what?
Yeah, it wasn't like a really cheap, rubbish one. It was a bit anticlimactic, but you could see where it came from.
Yeah, it had its roots. Yeah.
So yeah, best match so far I've written, and turned out the best match of the night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yay.
But if you're watching this, you're getting spoilers anyway, so.
The crowd was so behind Jeff Hardy that all the way they were chanting for Jeff, which I love, because,
Priest all the way.
Yeah, and Priest is awesome
Damien
and
Priest
definitely
all the way.
deserves to be champion, 100%. But Jeff Hardy has had such a rough time in WWE lately.
What, and Priest hasn't? He started his run in the main roster with Bad Friggin' Bunny.
I know, that was pretty... He seemed to enjoy that, alright.
I think he was forced into it, and he was like, fine.
He's always hanging out with him still, though.
Gotta keep up appearances.
But yeah, I mean, with the whole drunk thing.
Oh, I hated that.
That horrible alcoholic storyline with him.
Was that last year or the year before?
I think it might be.
I think it was pre-pandemic,
I think it was. Because they had the whole outside thing with the car. Max, okay, you are going down. No! He is attacking too much. Sorry, folks. But yeah, after everything...
That was more extreme than the event!
I know it was. After everything Jeff's been through, even though he's the vet, he's the most experienced of the three of them.
That's why he's attacking you, said vet.
That's it. That's what it was.
He's a pre-dog.
Jeff's been like it's led up to this as Jeff being an underdog, even though he should never have been an underdog. So I'm glad to see the crowd behind him. I'm pleased with the outcome. I'm pleased that Damien won. I don't think Jeff winning would have been the right choice, but they made him look strong. They made him look he made himself look
and they had
really good in it.
Almost like banter in the ring, like, thank you for the match, great, fantastic, shaking hands and whatnot.
Yeah, Priest and
it looked
Hardy.
like he was doing it to shove it in Sheamus' face.
Sheamus has gone off at the ramp.
He's at the ramp.
Upset because he's lost.
And there's them having a laugh and shaking hands and being like, hey, there's this guy.
Yeah, they were...
and then Jeff
Damien
did
the Hardy thing and Jeff did the
Priest Archer
thing. And they were like, respectful. Just like...
And a good old time.
Could they team up? Do you think they could do tag?
Extreme Archer. That could do.
Maybe like, even if it's just one match, seeing the two of them working together might be quite fun.
But it'd have to be against Sheamus and someone else.
Bring Cesaro back.
Now you're just lowering the bar. The bar. There we go.
The bar.
I miss the bar.
Yeah, that was a good team.
They built Cesaro up so well, and Sheamus, and they just dropped the ball almost with both of them. Anyway.
Oh well. Okay. And then they announced that Biggie and Lashley are gonna have a title match on Raw.
Yeah.
I did write down when it happened.
There we go.
Good job, me. Then we had the replay, or the highlights from the pre-show match, which was Carmella versus Liv Morgan.
So this whole thing of no cold matches, they actually had to build up for Liv Morgan and Carmella, no matter how trashy it was and pathetic. But they bumped that onto the kickoff show to have a cold match between New Day, Omos, AJ Styles, and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Vince, get your head out your ass, mate.
I suppose they wanted there to be a match to spark the Lashley Biggie match on Raw. They wanted to have something.
They could have done it on the kickoff show.
Yeah.
Well, you should have watched the kickoff show. Here's what happened earlier on the kickoff show.
Yeah.
And then that gives an incentive for people to watch the kickoff show.
Yeah.
Oh, look, something big's just happened on the kickoff show. 6-man tag that led into a WWE title match. The WWE champion fought on the kickoff show. Maybe we should start watching the kickoff show.
Yeah.
The fans in the building, maybe we should arrive a bit earlier to get in the building to watch the kickoff show in person.
Because I don't quite like to see Carmella versus Liv Morgan. But it's like, now that it's happened, it sort of is not as engaging enough that I could be bothered to go back and watch it. If it was a 6-man tag, then I might, because it's leading to a championship match and all this. But
Liv's got some new hairstyle on the go as well.
Yeah, this is good. Liv.
Liz?
Liv
you
has
leave
a
her
fringe.
alone. Leave her where she is.
She'd hate it if I called her Liz.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah, so Liv, she's got fringe or bangs, I think they call it in America. I don't know why. Tell us in the comments below, why is it called bangs in America? This is top wrestling content.
Liv Morgan wins the match. And with that right, we also had Sheamus, Priest one as well.
Yeah.
Throw that right.
We're doing good. Surprise, surprise. Okay, next we've got Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. It's a bit, it's what you'd expect from Belair versus Lynch, I think.
Yeah.
There's nothing special. They used the hair. They got a few moves on each other. Nothing special. The thing is, using the hair should be something special.
I think the problem is that I lost all interest in this when Becky Lynch beat Belair for the title in 26 seconds.
Yeah.
Any match that was coming out of that had such an awful build-up, I'm just tapping out on that. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's the trouble. They made, because that win was so unrealistic, it sort of puts everything else that's in their storyline in that bracket of, well, this should never have happened anyway.
And then the next thing that happens in the match has made me pull out of the storyline even more.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sasha Banks came out and started attacking Belair, so the match ends. We don't actually find out who they declare the winner.
I would assume Becky Lynch wins by disqualification. Belair wins by disqualification.
Because she's the one who got attacked first, I think.
Becky Lynch retains because champion's advantage.
So yeah, Sasha attacks Belair, then faces down Becky Lynch, who's like huddled in the corner with the belt, like, oh, looking terrified and, I don't know, a bit nuts.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah. And then Sasha attacks Becky. So clearly she's after the title because it's Sasha Banks, of course she is.
The thing is, you know what's going to happen next?
It's going to be triple threat.
Yeah. Now, I don't think it'll be a crown jewel because there's still the whole thing of women competing in Saudi Arabia. I don't know where they stand on that at the moment.
They've done it.
They might do it.
They did do that one match in Saudi Arabia. The women had to have
Lana
t-shirts.
and Natalia, and they had to have full body suits on.
Yeah.
They might do it.
They could.
But they might wait until whatever the next pay-per-view is. Not Survivor Series, I don't know what the next one is after Crown Jewel, actually. It might be Survivor Series for all I know. But they might wait till then.
It'll be a triple threat.
Either that or they'll just go, hey guys, it's Friday night. You know what that means?
Let's just make our regular shows indistinguishable from our pay-per-views. Yeah!
Just make it all trash. Oh, wait. Done.
So, I've written about this match. Becky threw Belair into the steps once, but ... not extreme.
No, that does not count as extreme.
No, nowhere near. Speaking of extreme, we move on to the Extreme Rules match, which is the last match. So we've already lost our possibility of having more than one extreme match in this card. So it's Roman Reigns versus the Demon, Finn Balor. Finn Balor's headdress was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was real good. He had all the usual, like, almost dread-looking
kind of,
bits hanging down, but he also had, like, I suppose a mohawk of metal spikes.
God, they must have been like a foot long.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Loved it.
Which was pretty cool. But then he didn't do his usual crawling through the smoke kind of thing, which is...
he did more of a crouchy crouch dance, which is a bit different. It wasn't like rhythmic enough to be like he's dancing, but it was a bit like, it was dance adjacent.
Do you think someone sent a memo to Vince at some point going, how about we do Roman Reigns versus the dance? And then the next one is, sorry, that was a typo, the Demon.
Let's go with it.
And then Vince is like, dance Demon, I love it. Make it happen.
No.
Make it extreme.
Extreme dance.
We are fired.
There was a fun moment in Roman's entrance where they switched to a camera that was zoomed right in to someone's phone as they filmed Roman Reigns' entrance. And then they panned up from that. You're a professional cameraman. This is an amateur on a phone.
Do you think he was like, that's the phone I want. If I get a footage of it, maybe I can show my partner, my sister, my mother, whatever, that I want this phone.
And he was like, they've switched
Look
to me.
how good the camera is on this phone. Look at it.
It's like,
oh, I've got a job to do. Hold on.
It's like, it's bad enough that fans aren't there live to see it. We're watching it on footage. We don't want to see footage of footage.
let's be perfectly honest, that camera person with the fat camera phone is probably doing a better job. Because the way they do the camera cuts,
oh
my god.
The shaky cam is real in WWE.
Oh, they're punching someone.
They're not punching you,
I swear,
cameraman.
those cameramen are on pogo sticks. I swear to God.
It's so bad. But as we talk about the entrances, guess what time it is?
I thought you'd forgotten.
Leanne, signs of the pay-per-view. Leanne, signs of the pay-per-view. So this is an unusual Leanne's signs of the pay-per-view. I went into this this pay-per-view. I said to you, didn't I, Alan? I don't think there's going to be many good signs.
Yes, you did,
Leanne. I just had a feeling that it was going to be slim pickings, but we were saved by one
man, one trooper. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My top 3 signs were all by the same person.
Oh, did you?
I have got special mention to the sign that said, "Happy birthday, Damien Priest, call me."
Yeah.
Because, happy birthday, Damien Priest.
Imagine losing the United States Championship on your birthday. That would suck so hard.
That would be awful. So, okay, there's one guy he was on the ramp, so, he was like, he had a prime spot. Mm-hmm. He had a completely straight face every time the camera was on him. No expression, no sort of, look at my sign. He was just there,
just holding
the sign. I lost count of how many different signs he had. It must have been at least
6 or 8.
6 to 8, yeah. That we saw.
Mm.
Who knows what they were. We didn't understand all of them. I think some were references to things that we're not familiar with. But just the effort. So the ones that I've written down, I'm going to have to give these in order. Okay. In 3rd place, happy 25th anniversary, N64. Another celebration.
Happy birthday, you beautiful bitch.
This guy was like definitely a gamer, whatever he was.
There's been a massive uptick on game-related signs.
Yeah,
especially this Final Fantasy feud you often see on the other show and WWE shows. Like Final Fantasy 8 is better than Final Fantasy 7. Yeah. Final Fantasy 6 trumps all, and all this kind of like, what's going on? Or was it play Final Fantasy 14 free up to level 60? It's like
the whole Final Fantasy 14 spiel on one side.
What's going on? What is going on?
Love it. I mean, it's better than all the signs that of a name with an arrow, or there was one that was Hi Grandma, which I kind of liked.
What was the other one with the down arrow I pointed out?
It was something like name gave me down arrow.
Yeah,
something
such and such gave me a, and then a down arrow pointing.
Like, huh? So it didn't make the list because it didn't make me laugh. I was confused by it.
It's just like, what's that supposed to mean?
Also, I do not like the signs that are clearly printed by WWE and left on the seats. So you had like hundreds of people with the man or EST. Make your own signs, folks.
Yeah.
Also, there's still people out there. I've told you this before. Write your signs in a proper pen or bubble writing, because I can't read it if it's in pencil or
biro. It's like they're just not listening to you.
Okay, so that
maybe Americans don't know what a biro is.
Maybe. A pen. They're writing in a number 2 pencil.
What would be the term for biro in America?
We need Sharpie, like this, or thicker.
I'm going to have to investigate that. I'll ask some of my American co-workers and I'll ask them.
Let us know in the comments below.
All that.
What's biro in America?
Maybe our friend who watches our board game videos will watch this one. You can let us know, the chat from Central America. Yeah. Please, if you're watching this, pal, let us know what a biro is. If you don't know what a biro is, that's the closest thing I can give you. It's like a ballpoint pen.
It's a roller ball pen.
It's a ballpoint pen.
I think biro is probably a brand. I don't know.
I think it is.
All right, we're off track. Signs
of
the
at least it's not about AEW this time.
You just made it about it. Anyway.
Whoop.
2nd place. Megatron is
Wait, what was 3rd place?
3rd place was happy 25th anniversary and 64.
Oh, right, okay.
2nd place, Megatron is not a tank.
Damn straight he's not.
He's a gun.
Damn straight he is.
It didn't say he's a gun on the sign, it just said he's not a tank.
Friggin' TSA.
So that was fun. Again,
anyone, just a bit of background for that. Anyone who doesn't know, Megatron is a Transformer. Transformers is a TV and cartoon series from the 80s, mid to late 80s.
The robots that turn into things that are familiar to humans, like usually cars, but Megatron was a gun.
If you just said the tagline, they're robots in disguise, everyone would have understood.
Disguise.
So Megatron would turn into a gun.
That's one of the others would.
So the toy, therefore, would look like almost a very similar kind of gun to James Bond's minigun. Not minigun, it's like the Walter PK.
Minigun would be awesome.
I think it's a Walter. I can't remember I think it's 38.
Yeah. It's like a pistol kind of looking thing.
So kids would have this in hand luggage, transformed into its gun instantly. So after 9/11, obviously. Yeah. And that caused a bit of an uproar to cause Megatron to be banned on flights.
So now he's a tank.
So now they turned him into a tank.
Never.
I'm a big Transformers fan, have been since I was like that high. So this really triggers me that Megatron's a goddamn tank.
But it's okay because our sign friend
there you go.
knows.
Thank you, sign friend.
All right, first place, and this is why I've waited this long to bring this segment in because it was during Roman Reigns' entrance.
Go on.
Roman's favorite FPS is Yoshi's Safari.
Because Roman's a bitch. Oh.
It just tickled me. That one actually did make me laugh out loud.
I think I was in the facilities at that point. I was taking a quick sort of interlude break.
He came back and I was like, Alan, you have to say this time. So good. That's when I told him about the cameraman filming on camera also because he missed that bit. It was good though. Anyway, back to the match. Thank you for watching Leanne's sides of the pay-per-view.
Rags is very confused.
Cool. So this match starts off pretty unextreme. There's a bit of a sort of face-off in the ring.
And then there's a face mask.
Then, that's later on.
Yeah. I just had to get that in while the pun was relevant.
So they do a bit of a back and forth with, nothing much happening. The Chad's already chanting, "We want tables," because they've sat through a whole Extreme Rules pay-per-view with nothing, not even a hint of a table.
Closest we had to blood was Alexa Bliss nicked her elbow.
Yeah.
On something I do not know what.
Probably an old injury.
Maybe.
So eventually Roman goes to get something from under the apron. The crowd's getting excited. They think he's going to pull out a table.
Oh.
No tables! Pulls out a kendo stick. He's yelling into the crowd then. We'll have tables when I say we've got tables. But
then sort of in the background you just kind of see Finn Balor sort of poking up out of nowhere.
Yeah, so Finn Balor's like round the other side of the ring, just standing there, and you're like, he's got something, hasn't he? And he lifts up. It's like a whole...
It's like 4 or 5 kendo sticks taped together.
All taped together. So I've written... I can't do the accent.
That's not a kendo stick. This is a kendo stick.
It's just like...
Anyone who's seen Crocodile Dundee will get that reference.
It's just like... There's Roman Reigns with his little stick.
Or The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's not a knife. That's a spoon. Oh, I see you played knifey spoony before.
That's the one. It's like, I don't know. It's a bit measuring dicks a bit, wasn't it?
A little bit.
But measuring kendo sticks.
Kendo dicks.
So wrong.
Oh god, I got Resident Evil 2 in my head. Quickly move on.
They hit each other with some sticks for a bit. That's fun. Balor tries to pull out a table, so Roman Reigns hits him and puts the table back.
The crowd boos.
Yeah. Like, no tables! It's a bit of a killjoy at this point, but we all knew that anyway. Then Balor brings out another table eventually and gets it in the ring. Reigns hits him. And we're like, he's going to put the table back, but he didn't, luckily. Then I have a big gap. I think I got bored of this.
That's probably when they started fighting with the crowd, I'd imagine.
Yes, they went to the crowd. Reigns basically launched Balor over the barrier into the crowd. Although Balor sort of did quite a neat little flip over the barrier. He sort of held it, grabbed it with his hands and sort of vaulted over pretty much. Very neatly. Bugger. So it looked like he got thrown over, but he was in control and then sort of rolled onto the floor to make it look like Reigns was in control. So they fight through the crowd. Roman Reigns, before going into the crowd...
Motions to Heyman.
Who hands him something.
It's
Face mask.
literally a face mask, like COVID face mask.
So, because he doesn't want to breathe the same air as the crowd.
Because he doesn't want to get COVID.
To be COVID safe.
He has got a compromised immune system, so I can't really blame him for that.
But sort of the symbolism of it makes it feel like he's saying they are dirty people.
Yeah. But I don't know, I just felt a bit forced.
Yeah.
I would have rather they didn't.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're in the moment...
I'd rather... Like, because there wasn't a ramp, it was like an entrance way. I would have rather have a ramp and have them fight at the top of the stage for a bit, as opposed to in the crowd.
To be safe.
Yeah.
That's fine. We don't mind that. Yeah, they went into the crowd. They fought a bit on the pre-show announce table, which is a very sturdy table, so that was never going to go through. If that was going to go through, glass, it would have hurt someone badly. They did go through another table off to the side. I'm
trying to hold my tongue when the AEW reference. I'm sorry. I'm just going to turn this around.
Yeah, we're good. We're going to get through this. Then they come back to the ring, fight a bit more. And, Balor's got Reigns on the ropes a bit. Balor managed to set up the table and then went through it.
Yeah, he got wrecked.
Because
the thing exploded.
It did. It went. At least 80% of the time, if you set up the table, you're going through the table.
Not accurate figures.
No, we haven't done the
research. Just a disclaimer.
Roughly, speculatively, 80%.
Yeah. It's
definitely the majority, right? It's like every single time. Like,
you set the table up, be prepared to get your ass put through it.
Yeah, basically. So Balor nearly had Roman, and then the Usos came out, obviously.
Yeah, he went with a coup de grace.
Yeah.
Or as I think bloody...
Coup de grace.
Yeah, coup de grace is stupid ass McAfee.
It's not English.
It's French, you pillock.
If he'd watched the show,
he would know. On the grass. What is he, a pigeon?
Coup de grace. Coup de grace. It's French, I think.
It is French.
It's French.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was saying it. It's like I'm sure it's French, but I don't want to get
coup de grace. Isn't it like an old hail, like a Hail Mary kind of like I think it translates something like that. I think.
Let us know in the comments. So Usos come out and beat Finn Balor out on the outside, put him through another table. That one also explodes pretty bad.
Here comes the red herring, quite literally. Floundering like a fish.
This is weird.
It was so weird.
He's sort of out of it. Balor's out of it. Everyone else is sort of down as well, I think, a bit. But they're all getting
because he's kind of taken up the Usos, and then Roman's hit him with a spear or something, I think.
Then the lights go red, and the heartbeat, which is like the start of Finn Balor's, the Demon Balor's entrance music. And on the heartbeat, Balor just like spasms. He's laying on his front. So he's kind of like... So his legs go up, his head goes up.
Thump, thump. Thump, thump.
But the third time, he was way out of time. Yeah. But that's just fine. And then, I mean, that was one thing. I mean, it's a supernatural thing. We don't understand the demon, even if they try and explain it. So maybe he resurrects himself like a flopping fish.
It's like a red herring. The lights have gone red at this point as well, by the way.
After the heartbeats, they continued the entrance music, which I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Because it just makes it clear then that the heartbeat noise isn't coming from the demon. It's coming from the music.
Yeah.
There's no reason to play entrance music unless someone is entering or someone has won or they've like owned someone in a promo and then you play the music. But not... It was weird because then they were continuing the fight while his music was playing. But I mean, maybe that was just like an error or a bad choice by someone in the back. I don't know. But anyway, so
do that. What's that voice?
The lights are red. The smoke is pouring out from the ring, presumably.
Yeah. It's coming from behind the steps.
Yeah, because they accidentally set it off a bit earlier, so we saw some smoke, which doesn't look as good when the lights aren't red.
No.
Ooh, so they have a bit more of a fight. Gets rid of the Usos, because the Usos try and beat him up and sort of sorts him out, gets him out of the way, gets in the ring.
Well, he goes up to the top from outside the ring.
Yeah, climbs up, ready to
another coup de grace.
The coup de grace on
Sorry,
Roman Reigns.
coup de grace or coup on the grass.
And then
there's like a weird bang.
Oh, the ropes collapse.
And the rope collapse.
All the top ropes all the way around. 4. For no apparent reason.
Oh, it couldn't take his what? Wait, what?
It doesn't make sense.
Like Finn Balor's probably like 250 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, bigger men have got on the ropes fine. So the explanations that may come out of it, if any, because there's a very good chance that they just won't. They'll just gloss over it and it'll never come up again. Either there is someone sabotaged
side note,
it.
Speaking of glossing over things, if you want to know that, look at the Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince and Shane McMahon for the briefcase in the ladder match at King of the Ring. I want to say 99. Yeah, that the suitcase goes up randomly to stop Austin getting it. It drops when Vince McMahon gets there. Never explained. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so either...
This is on topic.
Yeah, it was. So the explanations for the ropes falling. Either someone, for example Heyman, sabotaged the ropes knowing that Finn Balor would use them and therefore would cause them to fall if they were sabotaged. That's explanation number 1. Explanation number 2, there's another supernatural force.
You can't, they fired the Fiend.
Something else?
So I just had to get that in there, sorry.
I know.
What if it's Seth Rollins?
Maybe.
Like the Messiah.
Yeah. Something to counter the demon.
Yeah.
I guess.
But then he's currently engaged in this feud with Edge, so I don't think so, actually, think about that.
I'm just trying to think of ways. I think the sabotage thing's the most likely, right?
What if it's Elias? Because they're repackaging him.
Yeah, he could be anything. It's the only other thing that popped in my head, which I think is very unlikely, is that because Finn Balor and the demon are... It's like a possession kind of thing, I suppose. So could it be that you've got the dark and you've got the light, and the light is trying to rebel against the dark?
No, I can't see that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything it could have
it's
been.
more likely that Vince has panicked and he's picked up the phone. And who's he going to call? Who's the one person that everyone will always clamber to see when he makes his return?
John Cena?
Nope.
Goldberg?
Nope.
Undertaker?
There we go.
Yeah. It could be.
Damn it, pal, I need you. And you know Mark, the Undertaker, will. He'd be like, okay.
That would be crap.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It would.
It would be... No.
Let him rest in peace at home.
Because the demon could be the thing that overturns Roman Reigns in that whole thing. He could.
They've just made the demon look weak as hell.
Yeah, because obviously after the ropes collapse...
Oh, my leg. They played that for way too long.
Yeah. He did a good job. His leg looked, like, tight as...
He was tensing it.
Anything. It was like,
but they went for too long. You should have gone, oh, my leg. Okay, I'm getting up. Slam.
Yeah. Do you think that was Roman being slow? Or...
Possibly. I'd imagine the ref's giving him cues.
Yeah.
At that point.
So yeah, Roman spears him, gets the pin.
And no, I'll say one good thing about Roman in that, he made that spear look brutal.
Oh yeah.
I'll give him that.
He does a lot of spears.
Sometimes
they look great.
That's the only compliment you're getting from me, Reigns.
Yeah, so that was that.
Ooh.
I've written extreme, I guess, but expected more.
Kinda.
They had tables, they had chairs, there was some chair hitting.
Even though Finn was clearly holding back.
Yeah.
You could tell he was pulling him.
There was the kendo stick and the kendo stick.
The kendo stick and the kendo stick.
They went into the audience, but we were trying to sort of thinking about what is the difference between a no DQ match and an Extreme Rules match, and you were saying that it's the
possible count out maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So in that vein, this was an Extreme Rules match. I would argue that doesn't mean it's an extreme match.
I'm pretty sure that in the recent update to the banned word list, disqualifications on it.
What?
I'm pretty sure I saw something about that being added to the banned list.
That's like part of the rules.
Yeah, I think DQ was one of them.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry. That's really stupid. Anyway.
What are we talking about?
So yeah, they could have done more.
Do you have Alzheimer's? Are you okay? Like,
I think this might have given it to me.
I wish I had Alzheimer's so I could forget the damn thing ever happened.
Oh, for an extreme match, I would have expected something like chains or thumbtacks or a ladder. Something more than tables and chairs and kendo sticks.
A couple of chair shots, a couple of kendo sticks.
Because chairs and tables and kendo sticks come into matches all over the place.
There's a pay-per-view in December called Tables, Ladders and Chairs.
Yeah. You might as well just...
What's the bet? We're going to get TLC without any tables, ladders or chairs matches.
If there's a thing called a tables match. So if it's a tables match, it's a tables match, not an Extreme Rules match. So this can't... I think it's a poor excuse for an Extreme Rules match, and therefore has made this Extreme Rules pay-per-view even worse.
It's probably the worst in history.
It didn't just have one Extreme Rules match, it had a poor excuse for an Extreme Rules match, and that makes me real sad.
And I just want to point out, obviously Leanne's only been watching this for maybe 3.5-ish years, give or take. Again, not to flog a dead horse or be a broken record, I've been watching it for years. I watched a lot of the old ECW stuff as well. The Attitude Era, that was hardcore. Mm-hmm. You go into this with Extreme Rules, you expect something a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know it's the PG era and they're trying to transition a bit more edgy because that's what Fox wants, but this was dire.
The last couple of years, we were looking at it, weren't we?
Yeah.
They've had at least 2, usually 3...
At least 3, I think it was.
Stipulation matches.
It's like a ladder match.
A ladder match or a table match or an Extreme Rules match or a street fight or something. Mm-hmm. Having just one really does not make it an Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
You cannot call that... If I wasn't paying for the WWE Network to watch the other stuff as well, and I put $9.99 of my money into this one event, I would be asking for a goddamn refund.
Yeah, 100%.
And yet there's people who probably still buy this who haven't got the network, paying 15, 20 quid for it.
There's people who paid to go to the stadium and watch it live, and they got that. And...
dire excuse for an event.
This is going in trying to be positive and just being really disappointed. And at least we had a couple of decent matches, and we had the Damien Priest and Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. That match sold a pay-per-view for me.
But it still wasn't worth the price of admission.
No, it wasn't a pay-per-view match necessarily.
They could have done that on Raw, and it would have been a perfectly great main event for Raw. It would have
been a great Raw. Yeah.
That would have been a class main event for Raw.
But you're paying extra to see this. It should be something special.
Yeah.
I got one comment left altogether.
Go
on the way back up the ramp, you got Roman Reigns, followed by the Usos and Heyman. Heyman holds up the belt upside down the whole way up the ramp.
Oh, got it! The person he's on the phone to, it's The Miz!
The Miz! Because it's, obviously the W's upside down is an M, which The Miz uses as his symbol for all his stuff. So that was just like the perfect full stop on the end of an awful pay-per-view. The upside down championship.
You know, if I'm right and that is The Miz he's talking to on the phone, I'm going to be so happy.
That would be amazing, actually. Because Heyman is such a professional. Either he did that on purpose, or he's going to be kicking himself.
Or he's caught up in the moment.
Months.
Yeah, he didn't realise.
He's going to be so upset with himself if that was an accident. I think my hair hit him.
Yeah. One last comment, and there is going to be a censor here. I'm going to kind of phrase from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Extreme Rules 2021 was the drizzling.
Nice. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It wasn't a good pay-per-view.
I'm going to get this foul taste out of my mouth.
Thank you for watching. I hope we weren't too negative for you. I hope we made you laugh a little bit along the way.
I won't say ragdoll, I say realist.
Yeah, realist. Please do comment below if you think that there were some redeeming qualities in this pay-per-view that you want us to take note of. Let us know, because anything that will make us feel a bit more positive about WWE, I will welcome it, honestly. Please like the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell.
Cat.
Yeah, Cat. Subscribe for Cat. You won't get Cat, but you get to watch Cat when he turns up in our videos. Hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials. Our details are in the description below. And until next time, Go find some good wrestling to watch.
What's the next one? Crown Jewel, I think, October 21st. That's on a Thursday evening.
Ooh.
So that's like 7 p.m. British time, I think.
Okay.
But that's fine. That's got Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. If you are looking for a different company, and I'm not going to do what you're thinking.
Okay.
Currently airing in Japan is, I think it's a 21-day tournament called G1. And I've watched a couple of these before, and they are friggin' insane. You literally have about 3 or 4 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks, 21 separate days across the 4 weeks. And I think there's 16 or 20 talents, and they're in blocks of 4. So I think it must be groups of 5. So I think it's 20 different athletes, and they all face each other. So everyone fights every other guy in the tournament, and then that's a round robin. So the one with the most points, they stay on, then they go to a single elimination tournament.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's currently taking place in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm not sure how you would watch that. Maybe on New Japan World, maybe. I'm not sure. I need to look into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if you want to see some really top quality stuff, New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW.
And on that note,
Bye-bye.
thanks for watching. Bye.